This is Balkishan, lecturer in chemistry, Government Degree College, Siddipet, Telangana. Today's topic is oxidation of carbonyl compounds. Oxidation of carbonyl compounds. In this one, first oxidation with acidified K2Cr2O7 or alkaline KMnO4. Alkaline KMnO4. Oxidation with acidified K2Cr2O7, that is potassium dichromate, alkaline KMnO4. These are that is acidified K2Cr2O7 means this one, or alkaline KMnO4. These two are the strong oxidizing agents. Strong oxidizing agents. And one more strong oxidizing agent is dilute HNO3 also is strong oxidizing agent. All in these reagents, the first one, aldehydes oxidizes into carboxylic acids. Carboxylic acids. Okay, this aldehyde structure general formula is RCHO, and this one RCOOH. RCOOH. Here number of carbons only. Number of carbons R plus 1 carbon. Here number of carbons also R plus 1. That means only when aldehydes oxidizes in the presence of acidified K2Cr2O7 or alkaline KMnO4 or dilute HNO3 produces the carboxylic acid. Aldehyde oxidizes into carboxylic acid in the presence of alkaline KMnO4 or acidified K2Cr2O7, and the carboxylic acid which obtained in this reaction contains same number of carbons as in parent aldehyde, and this is the reaction at room temperature. This will easily takes place, and aldehydes are easily involved in the oxidation and produces carboxylic acid which contains same number of carbons as in parent aldehyde. But when we take only ketone oxidizes at normal conditions only, normal conditions, no reaction, no oxidation takes place. This is because in ketone only, I am showing this is general formula of ketone, and one example is CH3 double bond O CH3. Here C bond C cleavage is required to oxidize into the carboxylic acid. That much of energy is not available at normal conditions. Normal condition means nearly at room temperature and normal pressure. When this ketone subjected same in the presence of alkaline KMnO4 or acidified K2Cr2O7 at higher temperature only, high temperature and high pressure only. At high temperature, high pressure, this ketones also oxidizes into carboxylic acid. But here the number of carbons are 2r plus 1 carbons are present. 2r plus 1 carbons are present in the ketone. But here only number of carbons is r plus 1 carbon. Means the lower number of carbons containing carboxylic acid is formed in the oxidation of ketones. So this is the distinguished test between the aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes will produce carboxylic acid which contains same number of carbons, okay, as in parent aldehyde. But ketones oxidizes in triastic conditions and forms carboxylic acid, but the carboxylic acid contain less number of carbons as in parent ketone. So this is the information about the oxidation of aldehydes and ketones in the presence of acidified K2Cr2O7 or alkaline KMnO4. Okay. But we want to learn the mechanism, how the oxidation of aldehydes takes place. Mechanism andi. Step 1 andi. Here aldehydes are easily oxidizes andi. So this is the R and double bond O and H andi. First here alkaline or acidified K2Cr2O7 andi. This K2Cr2O7 contains some water andi. In that water it converts into the this one OH andi. Here this one is also OH, this one is H andi. Diol is formed andi, hydrate andi. This is the unstable andi. Next to step 2 andi. This K2Cr2O7 andi. In acid medium it will produce andi H2CrO4. This is called as chromic acid. It produces chromic acid. And in the presence of chromic acid, this is the OH and H and this is OH and this chromic acid and H plus and HrO4 minus. Now the HCrO4 minus structure is this one. So this is Cr, double bond O, double bond O, double bond O and OH. Okay. So this is, I think I am changing, this is OH and here minus. This is the minus. HCrO4 minus. This is the, in the presence of H plus, it converts into the, so this OH and is eliminated, OH minus, H plus as a water molecule. As a water molecule to form and chromic ester. So this is called as chromic ester. There is a new bond between this one and here O minus bonded with carbon, O, Cr, double bond O and OH. This is called as chromic ester. Chromic ester. This is called chromic ester. This chromic ester in the presence of water molecule so this bond shifted to this side. This one is eliminated. Okay. Now H plus it takes and eliminated as H3O plus H2O and here H plus will take and forms H3O plus and byproduct is HCrO4 O3 so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, HCrO4 minus is eliminated. The main product is from here. This one is eliminated and OH, only this one is eliminated, will form O3 and remaining RCOOH is obtained. RCOOH and carboxylic acid is obtained. RCOOH carboxylic acid is formed. So that means this bond also shifted, this hydrogen also shifted towards this one. The RCOOH is obtained. So this is the mechanism. Okay, oxidation with acidified K2Cr2O7. That mechanism with respect to aldehyde. Aldehyde first converts into the diol, unstable diol. This unstable diol with chromate ion forms chromic ester. This chromic ester in the presence of water converts into the carboxylic acid. This is the mechanism. This is the first type of mechanism, that is first type of oxidation with acidified K2Cr2O7 or KMnO4. Next to second one oxidation with Tollens reagent. Oxidation with Tollens reagent. Oxidation with Tollens reagent. First definition of Tollens reagent so this is the AgNO3 and NH4OH so this is called as Tollens reagent. That's why the definition of Tollens reagent is ammonical silver nitrate solution. Silver nitrate solution. Ammonical silver nitrate solution is called as Tollens reagent. Tollens reagent will form a silver complex. This is Ag, NH3 taken twice, Air plus, Air OH minus. This is the complex and byproduct is NH4, NO3 is the byproduct plus some H2O also. This is byproduct H2O also. This will air aldehyde in the presence of Ag NH3 taken twice plus OH minus. This will be conversion or into the RCOH. Aldehyde oxidizes into the carboxylic acid and here silver precipitate is obtained. Silver precipitate is obtained. This ammonia reacts with this one and it converts into the ammonium salt of carboxylic acid. Ammonium salt of carboxylic acid and there is a H2O also will form byproduct. Okay. Here the main point is in this one the Ag plus ion reduces into Ag. Indirectly, the aldehyde is reducing Tollens reagent into the silver precipitate, metallic silver. This is very important in this one. the Tollens reagent is oxidizing aldehyde into the carboxylic acid, and in reverse and the aldehydes reduces the Ag plus ion which present in the Tollens reagent into the Ag precipitate, and silver precipitate is obtained. Okay, so this is again you observe ammonical silver nitrate solution is called as Tollens reagent. Tollens reagent will form silver ammonium complex, and this silver ammonium complex oxidizes the aldehyde into the carboxylic acid. In this reaction, silver precipitate is obtained. Based on this precipitate only, when we take a aldehydic solution only into the test tube only, this is the test tube, and adding Tollens reagent and heated to some temperature only. After the heating, there is a silver coating at the valves of the test tube. After the completion of reaction, the test tube valves are appear with silver mirror coating. Okay, so this is called as silver mirror test. Silver mirror test. Okay, by using this Tollens reagent only, we can distinguish aldehydes from the ketones. Why? Because ketones with Tollens reagent only, no reaction. Because of Tollens reagent is the weak oxidizing agent. Is the weak oxidizing agent when comparatively potassium dichromate and KMnO4 and HNO3, the Tollens reagent is the weak oxidizing agent. That's why the ketone does not oxidizes into the carboxylic acid in the presence of Tollens reagent. So this is the distinguished test, and when we take aldehyde into the test tube and adding Tollens reagent, there is a silver coating to the test tube walls, and it is appears as a mirror. That's why we can distinguish aldehyde from the ketone, because ketone, when we take into the test tube adding Tollens reagent, there is no silver mirror, there is no precipitate, there is no coating head walls of the test tube. That's why we can distinguish easily from the aldehydes to ketones. This is called a silver mirror test. This is used for the distinguish the aldehydes from the ketones. And so this is oxidation with Tollens reagent. You don't forget the definition of the Tollens reagent is ammonical silver nitrate solution is called Tollens reagent. The Tollens reagent contains Ag plus ion only, or it contains AgNH3 taken as plus only. This Ag plus reduces into the Ag, and aldehydes oxidizes into the carboxylic acid or its salt only. So this is the oxidation, and Ag plus is converting into the Ag is the reduction. That's why aldehyde reduces the Tollens reagent into the Ag precipitate also. Okay, there is no action in case of ketone. Next only oxidation with failing reagent. Oxidation with failing reagent. Here failing reagent definition only. Alkaline copper sulfate solution. Alkaline copper sulfate solution made with Rochelle salt and Rochelle salt and a complex only. So this is called as, the mixture is called as failing reagent. Failing reagent. A Rochelle salt is Rochelle salt is sodium potassium tartarate. Sodium potassium tartarate with tetrahydrate. This is the tartarate and the tartaric acid. This is the tartaric acid. I am changing this one as a sodium and this one as a potassium. Sodium potassium tartarate with 4H2 hydrated salt. And this is called as Rochelle salt. This will give the complex compound and with copper ion. Okay, this in the presence of copper and the aldehyde. This is the aldehyde and in the presence of Cu+2 and there is a OH minus ions and alkaline and okay, definition of the failing reagent is alkaline, that's OH minus. Alkaline copper sulfate solution converts into the complex compound and with Rochelle salt, that mixture and actually this is called as failing A solution. This is the failing B solution. Failing A, failing B will give the failing reagent. Failing A solution, failing B solution, these two different solution, by mixing we obtain failing reagent. And in failing reagent, this copper, the aldehyde converts into the carboxylic acid and this converts into the cupric oxide. And so this is the cupric oxide. It is a red precipitate. This is the red precipitate. Okay, aldehydes converts into the carboxylic acid, but here Cu+2 converts into Cu+1. It is also reduction. This is also reduction. That's why failing reagent reduces into the red precipitate and that is cupric oxide in this reaction. Based on this information and here also ketone and with failing reagent and no reaction. Failing reagent will not oxidize the ketones. And that's why by using failing reagent also we can distinguish only aldehydes from the ketones. Aldehydes from the ketones. So this is the one more oxidation and that is with the failing reagent. Now instead of failing only, there is a one more reagent, Benedict reagent. Benedict reagent. This Benedict reagent is nothing but just only change of this one. Instead of sodium potassium tartarate, we are taking sodium citrate. Sodium citrate. So this is the citric acid. This is the citric acid. Here sodium. Sodium citrate mixture with alkaline copper sulfate solution. Okay, instead of Rochelle salt. When we change that Rochelle salt by sodium citrate, this is the one solution, this is the another solution. That's alkaline copper sulfate solution. Only the complex ion is changing and that mixture is called as Benedict reagent. This Benedict reagent also oxidizes aldehydes and the Benedict reagent into the carboxylic acid and here also red precipitate is formed. This is the red PPT. This is the red PPT. Okay. Ketones and the, sorry, this one aldehyde. Here ketone with Benedict reagent and the no reaction. Similar to the failing reagent. And okay. That's why failing reagent, Tollens reagent, Benedict reagent is the distinguished test of the aldehydes to ketone. After this one only, one more oxidation. Fourth one is oxidation with Skipp's reagent. It Skipp's reagent. Yes, Skipp's reagent is the mixture of para-rose-aniline. Para-rose-aniline hydrogen chloride plus sulfur dioxide. So this is called as Skipp's reagent. Mixture of para-rose-aniline hydrogen chloride and SO2 mixture is known as Skipp's reagent. The para-rose-aniline and para-rose-aniline hydrogen chloride is pink colored solution. Pink solution. When we sending SO2 gas into the para-rose-aniline hydrogen chloride and its pink color is disappeared and no color. That means Skipp's reagent has no color and is a colorless solution. When the aldehyde and passing, that is adding Skipp's reagent and again the pink colored solution is appeared and the aldehyde oxidizes into the carboxylic acid. Why? Because this SO2 actually indirectly aldehydes in the presence of SO2 oxidizes into carboxylic acid. That means para-rose-aniline hydrogen chloride and SO2 mixture is called as Skipp's reagent. When the Skipp's reagent is added to the aldehyde and the sulfur dioxide is oxidizing into the carboxylic acid, and that means sulfur dioxide is removing from the mixture. When it is removed again the para-rose-aniline appears as a pink color solution. So this is the pink color solution. Para-rose-aniline hydrogen chloride is obtained. That's why aldehydes oxidizes into the carboxylic acid with Skipp's reagent also. But here ketone with Skipp's reagent no reaction. That's why this reaction also distinguished test from the aldehydes into the ketones. Okay, all these reactions you take failing reagent, it is called as failing test. You take Tollens reagent, it is called as Tollens test or silver mirror test, and Benedict reagent, it is called as Benedict test, and this is Skipp's test. Okay, here the structure of para-rose-aniline hydrogen chloride this is the structure here carbon double bond and this is double bond, double bond, double bond, here double bond, here double bond, N H2 plus Cl minus. So this is the actually HCl is added if there is no HCl this is actually here NH2 group. This is one more NH2 group. Okay, here this is the para-Rosenlein structure. And when we added, this is double bond nitrogen, three bonds, and here also 3 bonds, here also 3 bonds. You check, any carbon contains 4 bonds, and any nitrogen atom contains 3 bonds. And when we add in HCl, it takes this due to the presence of lone pair of electron, will take one more hydrogen, it becomes as a NH2 plus and Cl minus. So this is called as para-Rosenlein hydrogen chloride. Para-Rosenlein hydrogen chloride structure is this one, and this is the pink colored solution. Pink colored solution. When we passing this one SO2 gas, and this pink color will be disappears, and this is the decolorized agent, and SO2 disappears. When we remove this SO2, again pink color will be appear. Okay, based on this one, and this very important reactions, and in your practicals also, that is third year BSc practicals, how to distinguish aldehydes and ketones and distinguish test and aldehydes and ketones. The first test and 2,4-DNP test. 2,4-DNP test. Aldehydes are positive, ketones also positive. Okay, this is the test of carbonyl group. This is called as carbonyl group. Any component, you take not only aldehyde, not only ketone, you take any component, you take carbohydrate. Carbohydrate contains also, there is carbonyl group, and that's why we'll give the 2,4-DNP test. 2,4-DNP full form is the 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine. It forms phenylhydrazone, and here also forms phenylhydrazone. And this is the first test. And second test is with Tollens reagent. Tollens reagent is also reaction of aldehyde only. That's why aldehydes are positive and ketones are negative. Here this both are positive. Here this is the positive only. Here this one is negative. That means only with Tollens reagent and silver mirror test will give the aldehydes and ketones will give the negative test and will not give any precipitate or any silver precipitate. Third one only Tollens failing reagent. Failing reagent. That is also, it is also test of CHO group. That's why here positive only, here negative only. Now fourth one only Benedict reagent. Benedict reagent, here also positive only, here also negative. Okay. Fifth one only Skips reagent. Skips reagent, here also positive and here also negative. Based on this, it is very useful and identification of functional group and identification of functional group లో the given compound and is taken into the test tube only. Taken into the test tube. Is it carbonyl compound or is it alcohol? Is it carboxylic acid? Is it ester? We don't know. By the testing of this sequence, if it is positive only with 2,4-DNP, then we can decide as the given compound is carbonyl compound. Carbonyl compounds are two types. One is the aldehyde, other one is the ketone. That's why the given compound is aldehyde or ketone, we can distinguish by using this one. That is Tollens reagent, Fehling reagent, Benedict reagent, Skips reagent. All this will give the positive test in case of aldehydes, and in case of ketones it is the negative one. So this is the identification of the carbonyl compounds and ketones, that is aldehydes and ketones. One more useful information or in the case of identification how to distinguish formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. How to distinguish formaldehyde and acetaldehyde. Here formaldehyde is aldehyde, acetaldehyde is also aldehyde. Both will give Tollens reagent test and Fehling reagent test and Skips reagent test. Both will give and 2,4-DNP also positive. That's why we cannot distinguish this formaldehyde and acetaldehyde by using this test. We can distinguish with the alpha iodoform test. This is the mixture of I2NaOH with, that is acetaldehyde, will give only yellow precipitate. This is the yellow precipitate, yellow PPT. When we take, that is formaldehyde iodoform test is the negative one. Iodoform test is the negative one. Okay, this is the one of the question. Same when formaldehyde is changed, that's benzaldehyde plus acetaldehyde. Benzaldehyde and acetaldehyde. This will give only same information. Acetaldehyde, this one same acetaldehyde. I am removing this formaldehyde into the benzaldehyde. Formaldehyde into the benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde has no alpha hydrogens. Here, here very important is in iodoform test in iodoform test we required 3 alpha hydrogens. 3 alpha hydrogens. That's why here acetaldehyde contains 3 alpha hydrogens. That's why this will give iodoform test yellow precipitate, and this will give here no alpha hydrogens. No alpha hydrogens. That's why this is negative one. Okay. One more example this is maximum number of students will not give answer in this case. How to distinguish propanoldehyde and acetaldehyde. This is one more important distinguish test. Okay, propanoldehyde, this acetaldehyde CH3CH1. Here 3 alpha hydrogens are present. So this is the propanoldehyde CH3 CH2 CH bond. This is the propanaldehyde. Propanaldehyde. Here this is the functional group and this is the alpha carbon. That's why here only 2 alpha hydrogens are present. Here 3 alpha hydrogens are present. Here 2 alpha hydrogens present. When it is reacted with iodine only, in the presence of NaOH, there will be a yellow precipitate only because of formation of iodoform. This is the yellow precipitate. Yellow precipitate. Okay. But here no 3 alpha hydrogens. And the must and should minimum condition to involve the iodoform test only. To involve the iodoform test only. 3 alpha hydrogens are must and should. Why? Because these 3 alpha hydrogens, so this is the 3 alpha hydrogens already I explained in the case of iodoform test and the iodoform reaction. So this is the functional group only. Here these 3 alpha hydrogens are replacing by the iodine. Then only that iodoform will be formed. Here in this case only 2 alpha hydrogens are present. That's why no reaction. No yellow precipitate. PPT. No yellow PPT. That's why how can you distinguish that is propanaldehyde from the acetaldehyde means by using iodoform test. This is the some of the reactions, that is oxidation. After that one, how to distinguish the aldehyde, ketone, or aldehyde plus aldehyde, or ketone to ketone. Okay. From this video, totally we completed carbonyl compound lesson. Thank you very much.